Namaste. Today I want to share my experience of intermittent fasting for more than 1 year. Intermittent fasting, you must have heard this term. If not, it is a form of fasting in which I do fasting for 18 hours and having a feeding window of 6 hours. So basically, it is a time bound feeding pattern. So what are the changes I have noticed? The most drastic and easily measured thing is I have lost 12 kg of weight. But I have not done it for weight loss, so I take it as a byproduct. The second thing, I have a better mental clarity. But you may think that it's a subjective thing, or it may be a psychological thing, but there is a science behind it. So I will come to that point later on. But the most important, which I want to share with all of you, is that it has changed my relationship with food. Now there is no craving for any junk food, and I feel that I am out of some kind of addiction. So fasting is beneficial in many ways. First of all, it changes the biochemistry of your body. There are many hormonal changes. The most important is insulin. What happens when you eat frequently, your insulin level will always be on the higher side. That means your body is in the storage mode and it is very difficult to lose weight in that condition. So if you want to lose weight, you have to reduce your insulin level. So for weight loss, it is not the caloric model which we used to think, but it is the hormonal model which is more important. So unless your insulin level is low, it is difficult to mobilize fat from the storage point, that is the adipose tissue. So it is said that insulin holds a key for your fat store. On the other hand, if your insulin level is always on the higher side, it leads to insulin resistance, which is a primary pathophysiology of type 2 diabetes mellitus. And later on, it can lead to obesity, hypertension, lipid dysfunction in the form of increase in the triglyceride and decrease in HDL, which is altogether is known as metabolic syndrome, which has a very high correlation for coronary heart disease and brain stroke. The second hormone which is related with fasting is growth hormone. It is known fact that fasting increases growth hormone. There are studies in which there is an increase in more than 1,000 folds of growth hormone in case of prolonged fasting for more than 36 hours. But you may be thinking that what is the use of growth hormone once you have become adult and you have attained your potential height? This growth hormone can help you to keep you young. It helps you in building the muscle mass. It helps in repair from day-to-day injury. It helps in mobilizing fat from the storage site, and it is said that this growth hormone is considered as a protein sparer. That means when you fast, your body will utilize fat as a fuel and try to preserve the muscle protein as far as possible. This third hormone is adrenaline and noradrenaline, which is also known as fight or flight hormone. And these hormones help you to face the difficult situation of our life by increasing the metabolism and by making you more alert during the difficult situation of the life. I was talking about the cognitive benefit of fasting. What happens when we fast? Our liver produces ketone bodies, and one of the ketone body is beta hydroxybutyrate. This beta hydroxybutyrate increases BDNF, that is brain derived neurotrophic factor. This BDNF is important for increasing the neuronal connection, and it also modulates neurogenesis. There are many long-term benefits of fasting. The fasting induces autophagy. Autophagy, it's a cellular process by which cell clears or cleans its unnecessary or dysfunctional components, and it is a process by which cell recycle its intracellular organelle. So autophagy is important to keep your cell young and resilient to diseases. Fasting also help in mobilizing stem cell from the bone marrow. So it's a natural way to get your stem cell. There are many preclinical and clinical studies which suggest that fasting can prevent cancer. I can understand that you may be doubtful about certain facts, but so that is the reason I am giving the link of important articles below in the description, so you can check it. I am taking all the contents from all the standard medical journal like NEJM, Annals of Medicine, Nature, and similar article, and it talks from Dr. Jason Fung, who's a nephrologist from Canada and very deep in the field of fasting and its benefit. He's the author of New York Times bestseller book, The Obesity Code. So, and the point is that I'm not here to sell anything, and actually nobody can make money if you fast. So what are the changes happen during fasting? During the initial 12 hours, you utilize your glycogen by a process known as glycogenolysis, which is glycogen stored in your muscle and your liver. But after 12 hours, you form glucose from the non-glucose, non-sugar like your pyruvate or lactate, which is known as gluconeogenesis. And after 18 hours, when your insulin level is low, your fat store becomes open up and you mobilizes fat as a triglycerides, which comes in your bloodstream in the form of glycerol and fatty acid. And this fatty acid comes to your liver and get converted into ketone bodies, and ketone bodies is the alternative fuel your body utilizes. You may be surprised by knowing this, that there are certain organs which utilize ketone over glucose, like your renal cortex, your heart, and even your brain utilizes ketone bodies very efficiently in the absence of glucose. So after so much of talking of the in favor of intermittent fasting, let me talk about something negative. What are the negative points of intermittent fasting? The most important thing is it is difficult to get adjusted with a new pattern of feeding, both physically and psychologically. Why psychologically? Because all our life we have been told that eat well. Breakfast is the most important meal of your day. Don't skip breakfast. And now we are talking about to skip breakfast or one meal. So it is difficult to come out from that default setting of eating. Like morning, it's time for breakfast, noon, lunch, evening, some snacks, tea, and night, dinner. So we even don't bother that whether we are hungry or not. It's our default setting that it is time to eat, so we need to eat. That's it. So it is difficult to come out from that psychology little bit. And of course, like fasting is not a new thing. On the auspicious occasion, it is advocated in all the religion. Now the Ramzan is going on. We have just finished your Navaratri. So scientifically, these are all form of intermittent fasting itself. And many people do intermittent fasting without knowing it. Like at least a generation before, I can make it, like especially females, including my mother, they have a habit of completing their household work and then having bath, puja, and then only they take breakfast. And I have never seen taking breakfast before 12:30. So it's a form of intermittent fasting itself. So it is something like we need a Western approval for something which is our own practice. But of course there is solid scientific evidence in favor of fasting. The second thing I want to highlight is if you are a diabetic and if you are on insulin or oral hypoglycemic agent, please be aware of hypoglycemic symptom. If you are a patient of migraine, your migraine get triggered by fasting. So it is not that you cannot do it, but please consult your doctor before doing it. And third, and this is also very important, that it is certainly going to hamper or going to affect your social life, because your all late night parties, your drinking session can be compromised. So I think in long run you should try for intermittent fasting, and you can take some break to just protect your social life and your friend circle. So the purpose of making this video is to educate my near and dear about this intermittent fasting. So I have benefited by this, and I hope the same for you. Thank you so much for listening.